Now, as a pastor and somewhat of a preacher, at least a teacher, I find it quite interesting that right after being called into ministry to prophesy to the nation, God says, oh, by the way, I'm going to make you mute. You can't say anything. That would not be very effective, would it? We probably wouldn't get as many YouTube hits if I were just... Maybe more. I don't know. You know, I do something that is so painful, and that is I watch myself on YouTube. And last night I found that we have this... We got this new Blu-ray player, because our old Blu-ray player, you'd put the movie in. Oh, it was so aggravating. You put the movie in, and you get about 3/4 of the way through, and then it would start going, and it would start fluttering, and it would stop. So you would see 3/4 of a movie, and then you couldn't watch the end of the movie. So we finally went out and got ourselves a new one. And somehow, you know, I work in IT, but I don't understand this stuff. Somehow it is hooked in with our network and so forth, so I could get on YouTube on my TV through my Blu-ray player. I went, this is really cool. I wonder if I can watch myself here. It won't be like on the computer, it'll be bigger me. I do this stuff a lot. I use my arms a lot. I never really realized it. I'm watching that, and I don't know. So last night I also watched Pastor Chuck and watched his Pastor Chuck Smith from Costa Mesa and watched his Saturday night service from last week. He doesn't move his arms at all, and actually now because of his age and health, he sits behind the pulpit. He kind of holds on to the pulpit. And then right after that on TV, there was one of the stations shows the Billy Graham Classics. And they are Billy Graham crusades from, like, this one was from 1973. And I watched that because I love the man and I respect the man so highly. And he's like this. And it reminded me of a story that Pastor Chuck told of when he was a young pastor. And while he was a young pastor, he watched Billy Graham, who was very popular at the time, and he decided, man, I got to be more like that. That'll get the people, you know, pumped up and stuff. It was before he was pastoring at Calvary Chapel because, of course, he was a denominational preacher in the Four Square denomination for 15 years before Calvary Chapel. And so it was during that time, and he was, you know, kind of, what can I do? I'm going to be more like Billy Graham. So he decided he was going to do it. You know, and he was going to move around and, you know, preach and walk around. If you watch Billy Graham, you know, while he could still move quickly, he does that. He's going, not wild, but he's very expressive. And so Pastor Chuck decided to do that. I don't know whether it was in a regular Sunday morning service or what it was, but he tells the story that he did it and he walked away from the pulpit and he got his finger up in the air and he couldn't remember what he was going to say. And his notes were way over there at the pulpit. And he never did it again. And he realized that, you know, that's not him. That's not the man God had created him to be. That's the man that God had created Billy Graham to be. Right? So, you're going to get this. Right? Okay.